I would have had more, but I was full of Sheffield.
Well, this is it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So where they are crushed inside those lorries.
The vets hit them with planks. Vets.
Yeah, but enormous, mate. They're so huge, they're an
Listen, boo-hoo about calves. They do that with crabs. I don't see you weeping about crabs.
Well, I think every animal has as much right to decent treatment as we do.
Yeah.
You're wrong, and you're a grotesquely ugly freak. Thanks. Animal rights. It's an extremely controversial subject, and it's not just the odd dinner party punch-up over squealing meat. It's the Spaniards chucking horses out of church towers, the Chinese sucking the brains out of live monkeys, and now this, a shocking example taken from a recent Libyan news.
The footage shows a ritual from the feast of Eid al-Adha, an outdoor celebration in which the men of Tripoli have a great time, but the same cannot be said for their cattle. At the climax of the feast, a cow is rounded up and driven into a metal tube, a tube which is charged with explosives. The cow is fired through the air and lands in a crunched-up bone heap. Running men then clobber any remaining life out of it with their fists and feet and sticks. The body is dragged about and then left for the dogs and jackals. And possibly scorpions if they eat meat, I don't know.
Tonight on Brass Eye, animals. Are we too nice or too nasty?
Over the centuries, man's relationship with animals has been complex. In ancient Egypt, felines were worshipped because the Egyptians thought they were funny. Many of today's familiar relics are cat monuments. These vast cat heads were built underground and seen by no one. Europe too has its animal traditions. In Zaragoza, the streets still get crazy with the annual running of the wasp. In Britain in the last century, it was quite acceptable for a young gentleman to lose his virginity to one of London's many whore dogs. Dickens and Prince Albert both boasted of their experience. Today, animals are used more discreetly, as a vital lubricant in the wheels of government.
It was my job for 17 years to procure wild beasts for the House of Parliament. I had to get bats, gibbons.
Ex-civil servant Foster Pan purchased over 1,000 animals to work in Westminster.
Michael Heseltine finds it very useful, if he's angry, to have an ape to slap. Kenneth Clark has a baby moose in a cupboard.
The most commonly used animals are zebras, hurrying between offices with documents pinned to their bodies.
Tony Benn had a tapir in the 70s that used to send messages on around Whitehall. Rude messages to the Lords, I always remember. He used to pin to the head of the tapir. Most of it was great fun. I enjoyed the job. The only real difficulty I had was trying to haul a basking shark up the Thames for Jack Ashley. It didn't really work out. It died after about 3 days being tethered to the terrace. Jack was quite unpopular after that for a while.
So much for the fat brass of Westminster, but this East London boozer knows all about animal abuse, because here, every week, beer users gather to watch large men fight with weasels.
There's normally about 40 men in a room, standing round in a ring, and a bag above your head. Somebody pulls a string, the weasels cascade out onto you, and you've got as short a time as possible to dispatch them all. I've seen a man die weasel fighting. When you're fighting a weasel, he's bigger than a man. And there is money in it, if you're good. There's other perks as well. The women, they fancy you if they see you kicking the shit out of a weasel.
After 13 years, in which he pulped over 4,000 weasels, Bernard Lering suffered a compound nervous breakdown.
I lost it, and I just picked up a living doing otters, which are very easy, are very docile animals. And even when they pump them full of rat hormones, which they do, you can kill an otter in about a second. Just kick its face off.
There are many legal sports that kill animals too.
I think the thing that people get fussed about is that a fox is a small, brown, furry animal, very much like a dog. I don't think they'd be nearly so worried if it was a little four-legged car full of chips.
The evil in our relationship remains a paradox. If you plot number of animals abused against what makes people cruel versus intelligence of either party, the pattern is so unreadable you might as well draw in a chain of fox heads on sticks. And if you do that, an interesting thing happens. The word cruel starts flashing. So, are we cruel to hunt foxes?
The fox feels nothing. It's made of string.
Or are we too nice? This is a busload of flies that are being sent on holiday to Africa. They'll enjoy Somalia, but should they? Can it possibly be right for gene men to play with DNA?
This one survived a couple of days and then just keeled over and died.
Is this wrong?
How on earth can you justify this? And has anybody ever come up with a reasonable argument for this? Of course, animals and man have coexisted since long before we all evolved. But while cruelty still makes our hearts bleed like fresh operation scars in a hot bath, our daily language is full of abuse with expressions like frog stupid. Why? For some answers, David Jatt asked Carla Lane for them.
I saw something in the paper this morning waiting. A bulldog mauled a girl. We don't want that.
No.
But when
We
you
wouldn't like a
read
girl
on...
to maul a bulldog either.
No.
No.
But when you read on, you learn that some boys threw the bulldog into the garden to get a fight together.
Yeah.
Now, the bulldog was put down, but nobody said, what did they do to the bulldog before they put it in the garden?
They take the tail,
But
they wind it up like that, they
Yes.
crank it, they tweak its central nervous system, and it goes like a bloody rocket.
Yes.
And the fact is
But
that...
they put it down,
What would you do, though,
no
to those...
thought.
Of course. Now, they put the dog down. What would you like to see to happen to the people that wound up its tail and fired it off like some elastic-powered
There are
glider?
no words to describe. Prison's not good enough because
No.
prisons become bed and breakfast and telly.
Prison's too good. What about jail?
Perhaps they ought to be...
They should have their coccyx twisted.
Yes.
That would
And now
sort them
people
out.
are going to say... Oh,
Can I
yeah.
just say, this, which has been prepared by the news graphic people, represents what's going on in one way. Is that the sort of thing that you would agree with?
Human version of it. Yes, no, I think so. Because I've been 20 years going to
bet.
the ministers, and they're finding out what man does.
Yeah.
Not only to calves and sheep,
But-
to everything. Frogs' legs they're onto.
Weasel fighting in the East End?
Everything.
I mean, pulling live weasels out of the wild and making them fight a man.
Yeah, and you know, they do have endearing, wonderful habits, animals. I had 2 guinea pigs and they were both 11 years old
Jesus.
and one died.
Yeah.
And you know, just before it died, it washed its little face.
From what you're saying, have we got it right or wrong so far,
What, people?
people?
Wrong.
We're right
100
here.
million times people wrong.
What chance of getting even here, let alone here?
Oh, dear. Not much.
Here?
Never in my lifetime or yours.
Just watch
How
this
many
then.
thousand years?
We're trying this, and there's a tension, and it's just going to go back like that.
I think so.
During the Blitz, when many clocks were destroyed, Londoners could tell the time by watching a dog throw itself off a highboard, which it did precisely every 60 seconds, 24 hours a day for over 8 months.
Institutionalised cruelty is one thing, but the twisted brain wrong of a one-off man-mental is quite another. Ted Maul disturbs.
Arable Wiltshire, a peaceful country haven supporting rural life like something out of a cheese ad. It doesn't look troubled.
But it is, at least for one of these cows. Thanks to money, this, and a human mind as bent as a bad hedge.
6 months ago, life for a cow here at Park Farm was pretty much like this.
Nothing much going on here.
But last June, out of nowhere, anti-cow slogans started appearing on the sheds. The text specifically designed to undermine the cow's confidence. Local press caught whiff of a weird one when the vandal shot his paint straight at the cow in the form of words like twat. and later fucknut and arse candle, as the campaign plunged into overdrive. Next came a wave of sick attachments. Cow attached to a filing cabinet, cow attached to a mini-engine in a shopping trolley. What sort of mind would do this?
And what's the result?
We contacted a huge bank of psychiatrists in the States.
we thought so
They
too.
told us
Fine,
the
hang on.
guy's a homo.
It's definitely homosexual.
Then a breakthrough. The vandal was caught on camera.
You're bum, you got no knickers, have you?
This farmer's son's handycam footage shows him at work,
Come on, fuck off.
whispering inept insults down a wire straight into the cow's head.
Don't you know what electricity is? These little planets in the wire, isn't it?
The man was Simon Hotrin, known locally as Chob.
Push off my wire.
He does odd jobs and lives in a field.
Toss ours.
But that night, Chob had discovered a bad new hobby.
Idiot, fucking idiot, 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 idiot. Stupid, stupid, fucking idiot.
It seemed the resulting court action would be an open and shut case, but it wasn't. These pics from the Beebs Western Region show.
But what, free on a technicality?
Local feeling ran high. One activist got so angry he donned a cow suit and lammed Hotrin right outside the court. Wow, he chopped him in the gob. And he's legged it. Great running. He may have been free, but Chob owed the world an explanation.
Right, you, I'm gonna muck your lens, right, you gay sod?
Hotrin prevented himself giving us a real interview, but during our visit we gleaned vital clues from some documents we nicked through an open window. These docs show that Hotrin had been driven nuts because the land on which he lives is owned by the cow. In the will of Edith Bates, a local crone who loved cattle, then eccentric, now dead, the cow inherited the land and a special bank account for stockpiling rent. Meanwhile, for the beast, which knows nothing of money or bitter mankind, life has become a living cowmare, thanks to the thoughtless beneficence of a mad old woman.
So far, do we have it right or wrong? Let's have a look at the answer, Prancer. Thanks. Found out exactly what to think next.
Still to come up, David Jatt meets Peregrine Worsthorne.
Here's a point. We execute wasps, but we don't execute dogs.
We execute wasps because they sting us, and dogs give us pleasure.
Do wasps really sting us?
Well, they do. I mean, they have stung me, and it seemed like a sting.
Was it actually a sting?
I call it a sting. I mean, I'm a
You see, I've
creature of
never
habit.
been stung by a wasp. I don't necessarily believe we're told they sting.
Well, I have been stung by a wasp, and they do sting.
People say that snakes sting and snakes bite.
I haven't been stung by a snake, I'm glad to say.
Well, that's 'cause they bite.
If I had, I would, or bite.
Now that, weirdly, I believe, and yet I've never been bitten by a snake. Why don't I believe, why do a lot of people not believe that wasps sting?
Well, come out into our garden in South Bucks and, on a summer's day. I'll find you a wasp, and I think...
Sting me with it.
What?
You'd sting me with a wasp.
This is a conversation...
Yes.
Before it all stops, a school tour for the Oxford Don who believes all animals are vegetarian.
Now, what do crocodiles eat? Natalie?
Other animals.
No, they eat grass.
Why wildlife documentaries are often misleading,
There is some very famous footage of a lion killing a wildebeest. How do you explain that?
The lion may have been chasing the wildebeest. In fact, it was chasing it to catch up with it, to give it a potato.
and can animal breeding go too far? A discussion point for David Jatt and horse jumper Oliver Skeet.
Is it because they don't have legs that it makes spherical cows so bad, or is it because that there's some kind of
cruelty involved? I mean, what?
Actually, I'm not actually sure what they do to the cows, right?
Well, they breed them in a particular direction, interfere with their genes, so they're just a big ball of meat.
No, well, you see, I wouldn't like to eat that. Definitely. If I knew I was eating that, I would go absolutely mad. It's like somebody putting, I don't know, a bit of snot in a bit of bread and giving it to you. It's the same.
Really, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Somebody's at a restaurant, to give you this scenario, right? Somebody out there, and they get what they think is a piece of spherical cow on their plate. What do? They
just eat it, don't they?
Yeah, but what should they do, for
should-
God's sake? Yeah.
Well, I mean, what they should do really is make us think about it. They should start phoning up people and start complaining about, the meat that they're eating.
This came from a spherical cow. How dare you sell this to me?
That's right, of course.
There was more good news for animals with Mike Fox's elephant campaign last month. Let me explain. If this elephant was called Mike Fox, then it would have exactly the same name as the man that did the campaign about the elephant last month.
Mike Fox and Andrew Dean. These men hate zoos. Together, they run the World Organization for Decreasing Captive Animal Problems, WAFTCAP, which incorporates against animal anger and autocausal abuse atrocities in zoos. Ours. 2 weeks ago, they read about Carla, an East German elephant who'd been so upset by captivity she'd stuck her trunk in her anus. In seconds, a campaign was born to publicise Carla's plight in a video and tell the world about zoochosis, the disease that drives animals nuts. Jilly Cooper was busy writing a book.
Hello?
Hello, has Jilly come out of her shed?
But Fox persuaded her to send a drawing of Carla in her plight.
Thank you very much for your picture.
Oh.
And we showed it to Carla,
Oh.
and I think she gave a little elephant smile.
Oh, I love that. I want to cry. That's sweet.
The zoo is, still not acknowledging the problem,
They
so...
are bastards.
But she could be accommodated by Jimmy Page.
Absolutely. I mean, it's only because it's a terrible year for me because I'm doing this bloody book. But
Oh, bloody book.
Oh, Duck, you made me very happy.
All right, Jilly.
Okay, darling. Nice to talk to you. Bye.
Bye.
With Jilly's drawing on her shirt, Britt Eklund told the world about WAFTCAP.
Last year, they stopped penguins catapulting each other through the glass roof at Sydney Zoo. Last month, they stopped a pig throwing itself out of a tree onto a python in a two-way death pact in Chester. Now they want to help Carla, an East German elephant who has got her trunk jammed up her own guts.
I can't understand the mentality or the physical makeup, mental makeup of anybody that lets an elephant get into that condition.
Paul Daniels' contribution moved all who saw it to horrible tears.
Carla the elephant is currently curled up in a kind of a grey ball. Her trunk is actually stuck up her anus and they're not trying to help her. So we must. I'll give you another one that you can cut in later. I'll just say that. And you can cut it in later. Yeah, go to the elephant, go to somewhere else, all right? And still rolling? Come on, help us get that trunk out.
And so thank Christ for Wolf the Gladiator, who joined not a moment too soon.
Urgent news. Carla has started to ingest her own head. Her dung pump mechanism has blown. There's bloody vegetable gas everywhere. For God's sake, help us pull her trunk out. She needs wolf power, or she will explode in a shower of pulped yams. Please help me and ours get Carla's trunk out the end of her guts.
With that ace burst of Wolf, the WAFTCAP appeal was ready for its final phase.
You've heard a great deal about Carla, the poor little elephant in this East German zoo who's suffering horrendously, horribly. Desmond Morris, the great anthropologist, the author of The Naked Ape, who understands more about animals than probably anybody, has written this little poem about Carla. I'd like to read it to you. Aren't we a bunch of fuckwits? An elephant could no more get its trunk up its ass than we could lick our balls.
Well, after that, we're obviously pretty close to a solution. There are 3 points to remember. Firstly, cruelty has not been eliminated. These two goats are going to box each other's heads in next weekend, and there's nothing the law can do about it. On the other hand, you can be too nice. This woman spent her life savings on plastic surgery to make her dog look like Ralph Fiennes.
I think it's a little bit of an improvement on the original.
Well, the way ahead's obviously through compromise. Next month sees the introduction of new regulations for slaughterhouses. How are these going to work?
Oh, yes, well, we kill 400 cows a week, and to redress the balance to some extent, we'll be slaughtering one member of our staff every 6 weeks, approximately.
And that's where he comes in?
Yes, this is it.
Are you happy about this?
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you so much for coming in, thank you. So whatever hello. So whatever you forget about tonight's programme, remember this. Introduction time. Let's talk about cows. This is the grave of a cow. As you will see, it was killed in unnecessary pain by a man. I think we agree with that, don't we, Carla?
I agree, yes.
If we think it's bad in this country, if we think it's bad in Europe, it's worse in Libya. Take a look at this piece of VT. The men gather round and finish it off with their feet, drag it through the town and leave it quite often to the jackals and dogs. In fact, the end word of this news report from the newsreader's mouth is, wow, look at that dead bastard. That incident itself that we've just seen there, the Libyan cattle slaughter, right or wrong?
Wrong.
That wrong?
Yes, absolutely wrong.
OK, yeah, you can kill the tape.
Oh, yes, please, kill the tape.
Kill the tape.
Hi, this is Alexandra Paul from Baywatch. Please help me get Carla's head out of her guts now before she explodes.
Just imagine how she feels.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, goodness me, goodness. I've just received this. Now, Yvette has managed to get in an hour ago, and she managed to pull Carla's head out. Oh, God.
What does it say?
Her head came out, but it had shrunk, and it was now small and smooth and white.
And so did she put it back in?
No, she's walking around, it says here, with a small, smooth white head about the size of a man's head. She's got eyes, but she hasn't got any ears. And it looks like one of our helpers, Andrew Dean, got sucked in.
No.
He's breathing through a tube.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's stuck inside.
I think you should get a press release out.
Which paper would print it, do you know?
Well, you put it over AP.
You put it over a P.
You put it over the wire services.
What, you put a wire over a P?
No, this is,
Is it like a distribution P? I phone up a P, and I send it down the wire to the P, and then the P sends it out to all the newspapers.
Yeah.
And thanks very much for your thoughts, Alexandra.
Okay, and,
I'll pass on your good wishes to all concerned, particularly to Andrew. If he's still going.